I quit my job back in January of this year, and to date I've been working YouTube full time. If you would like to support the channel, you can do that very quickly. The entry fee on my Patreon is only $1. You can support me on Patreon, or you can support me on Twitch to support the channel and to keep it alive. More information is in the description box and in the comment section down below.
It is an atomic bomb. It is a harnessing of the basic.
After World War II, somewhere between 200,000 and 400,000 U.S. soldiers and about 40,000 British personnel took part in the testing of atomic bombs in the 1950s and 1960s. Nuclear bombs. These men were used as guinea pigs. They were completely unaware of what they were about to witness. Many young, 21 to 18 years old, and as close as 1 mile away from ground zero, whether in the Pacific or at the Nevada test site when these nuclear weapons exploded. In 2019, the stories of these soldiers who observed nuclear weapons tests haunted and scared the literal shit out of me after heavy research. I became obsessed with telling a film one day about their experiences specifically. I'm sure Nolan too became fascinated in these bombs, as they literally feel like something out of Marvel comic book, but sadly are real and terrifying. Could you imagine wearing nothing much more than a t-shirt and pants? You've never heard of nuclear bombs before, and then this happens?
It was utter devastation.
Didn't know anything about it when we went. We didn't know what we were going to do when we went, only to be told that we would be testing bombs.
We were told nothing. We knew nothing. We were told very little about the day, except don't look at the flash. We were told to cover our eyes with our hands or bury your eyes into the crook of your arm, which we did.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
To say it was frightening is an understatement. I think it shocked us all into silence. When the flash hit you, you could see the x-rays of your hands through your closed eyes.
It was just sheer brilliant light. So I've never seen anything like it, never had done.
In the process of hands over your eyes, you saw every bone in your hand.
If I was looking at you now, I would see all your bones. You would see all the blood vessels and everything, the bones a lot.
Then the heat hit you, and that was just as if somebody my size had actually caught fire, then walked through me. It was an experience that was absolutely unearthing. It was so strange.
Some of the lads would stand up, but about 30 odd seconds later, you'd get the blast, and the blast would knock you flying.
And there were guys with bruises and broken limbs. We couldn't believe it.
After a while, we were told that we could now stand and look up and watch the mushroom form.
You caught sight of it at 90 degrees. It was that huge.
It was completely daylight at midnight, brighter than the brightest day you ever saw.
I cannot begin to describe the light that came into my eye. I was totally blinded. When I came out of the blindness, I saw my hands, and by this time I actually saw the blood vessels in my bones in my arm, because as I came across like this, it actually was totally x-rayed.
You could literally just see every bone in there, everything. Even the guy's bones in his back that was in front of you.
That's how bright the light was. To go from through the back of your head, through your eyes, and into your fingers, you're seeing your bones in your hands.
How did it come through all that to get to your bones? That you could visually see them, like an x-ray.
The light faded, and it's like streaks of lightning from the ground to the sky, about every 2 feet around you. And then that faded, and it was like giant fireballs in front of your eyes.
When the wave hit me, it knocked me over. I actually flipped over. All of us fell down on the ground.
Pig, there was people screaming and running. There was panic. There was panic and people screaming because of the heat.
Everybody started yelling, and some people calling out for their mothers, and some of the trenches collapsed. Beautiful purples and lavenders and popping and blipping and just doing.
And it was boiling and just orange and reds and black and gray and whatever. And it just kept boiling, rolling like this. And the higher it got, the more it flowed outward.
The unforgettable sound of the roar, it roared and roared and roared. And men yelling and confused. And I seen some guys coming towards us, like to the right of us, towards the bomb even. Like they were walking towards us as we were walking to the left of the blast. And I thought, what are they wearing? They have some kind of different clothes on, because things were dangling like they had padded clothes or something. It looked odd. And through some other people and talking over the years, I think it was their flesh. Nobody had uniforms that dangled like that.
So you can see why I'm hyped for Christopher Nolan's next film, a biopic about J. Robert Oppenheimer, who lived till 1967, father of the atomic bomb, an American theoretical physicist who observed the Trinity test in New Mexico, where the first atomic bomb or nuclear bomb was detonated on July 16th, 1945. Oppenheimer, he later stated this phrase in response to the event: "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." In August 1945, the weapons were used in the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Total casualties, somewhere around 199,000 people. To think that Nolan is going to tackle such a gargantuan task is mind-blowing. In the early 2000s, Nolan was hard at work on bringing to life Howard Hughes, movie-wise. The script being referred to as the best script he's ever written and the best writing experience he's ever had, with Jim Carrey to lead at the time. But after Martin Scorsese swooped in first with the masterful The Aviator with Leonardo DiCaprio, Nolan paused his project. Nolan truly loved this script. Hell, even Howard Hughes leaks out into The Dark Knight Rises, and Nolan has referred to his Bruce Wayne as Howard Hughes-esque.
Mustn't take it personally. Everyone knows that Wayne's holed up in there with 8-inch nails peeing into mason jars.
Whether Nolan ever creates his Howard Hughes film is unknown, but I think the hole Howard was supposed to fill, Oppenheimer will instead. And given the spooky, real-life, sci-fi nature of his life, I think this will, for obvious reasons, especially from a technical perspective, I think this may be Christopher Nolan's biggest film event ever, especially since this film will be coming out, hopefully, post-pandemic. Can you imagine Nolan handling atomic bomb imagery in the full-blown, full-screen IMAX perspective? Just imagining how the hell he's going to try to pull this off sends chills down my spine. And I personally think this will be even more eye-popping and jaw-dropping than Dunkirk in scale and ambition. Since HBO Max has pissed off Nolan off to high heaven, it's currently unknown if WB Pictures or another studio will be bringing this massive project to life. I'm assuming the film will drop in 2023, and there are whispers that Cillian Murphy will be attached at the current time. And Nolan always finds a way of using time in a mind-bending sense to the structure of his films, so I can't even imagine what he's got cooked up for this next film. I'm not sure how in the world Nolan will handle bringing atomic bombs to the big screen, and there's no other details to be gleaned at this time, but I am over the moon excited for the project, and given the many directions he can go in, hopefully you are too. Christopher Nolan is my favorite living film director, and I love biopics, so bring it on. But hey, what do you think? Let me know down below.